LDNRBS. We have Patricia Odje in the building.
Give it
Let's
up,
give a
give it
clap.
Thanks, guys.
Hey.
That's the best welcome I've got.
Amazing. Let's give her another one. Yeah, let's give her another one. Just in case. Trust me. It's been a long time coming.
It has, you know.
It really has.
I've actually been preying you guys for a minute, and I think it was you guys and the Pit London that I first...
Shout out to Pit London.
Shout out to the Pit London. They're cool. That I first, they were like we're going to chinwag one day. Do you know what I mean? Then I chinwagged with the Pit guys, and then you guys just...
You just had to come through. You had to come through. You had to say hello.
No, 100%.
So, I want to ask you about I know who you are.
I would like to know.
People that for whom don't know who you are. Who are you and what do you do?
Okay, me. I am Patricia Odje. I am a freelance project manager. So everything from marketing to social media to events is kind of what I do on a freelance basis. And I work mainly in music and entertainment, but I've kind of tapped into other industries as well, such as beauty and fashion, and also into the automotive industry. I can never say that word properly.
Nice.
Cars, yeah.
Nice.
So that's me.
So you're doing a lot right now.
Trying to.
And I heard that you're part of the Link Up TV.
Yes, big up Link Up TV. So I initially joined Link Up TV as a journalist.
Okay.
And then I started stalking Rashid, the founder, a little bit more, and then doing some of the projects with him, and then he just couldn't get rid of me. So I've been doing some things, some projects with them, and hopefully doing more this year, more event focused projects with Link Up.
And I've got to say, as always, have my little annoying story just beforehand.
They're not annoying.
Patricia is someone that I've seen a long time ago putting out. I always saw you popping up in random places.
Yeah.
Just constantly popping up. And you had opinions. Strong opinions. Potent opinions.
Oh.
Made me want to just message and go, okay, well, what's going on here? Because you definitely coming out, you make impacts with the words you say.
Oh, that's really nice.
That's why we need to have you up on LDNRBS, man. You had to do this. But you kept on saying this certain stuff that started resonating with me. So we're here today to talk about some topics.
We are here.
We're going to now get to the crunch.
Stuff's going to get deep. So brace yourselves. Do you know what? I think we should let Patricia lead with everything.
Well, no, let's
I think we should. I think we should. Because we've all been talking about R.Kelly, and I know you've got quite a lot of opinions on it. And I know you do. And I know you're just raring to go like me.
Well,
so
I think it is good, though, if we lay the bed there 2 seconds ago.
All right, make the bed. Go on.
Right, so R.Kelly. Gosh. We're going to get into this one now. So basically, R.Kelly this week. Damn. Everywhere. Basically for I think it was a documentary that came out, it was called Surviving R.Kelly. And basically he pretty much is being accused of having a cult.
I wouldn't even say accused, I'd say exposed.
Accused or allegedly.
Yeah.
So, yeah. What is your opinions on this whole situation? And for the people that have watched it, which I'm sure a lot of people have. But yeah, what's your opinion?
Yeah, I'm sure even if someone hasn't watched it, they've got an idea of what's going on. I've only watched part of it just because, one, I don't actually like watching what trends, just because sometimes I'd rather, especially when I know what it is, I don't need to be sickened by it more, if that makes sense. But for the purpose of, the fact that I'm going to be speaking about it, I wanted to make sure that, my facts were straight. So, I've watched part of it, I haven't watched all of it. My first, thought that kind of stood out for me, both from watching it and seeing on the timeline, was we are looking at a man that is extremely troubled. We are looking at a black man who, like a lot of other black men, maybe, probably, has had a messed up beginning, and because of the fact that no one has identified that early, has tried to rectify his problems early, has tried to, heal him in a way, he's now pass these issues onto the young women and the young children that he's, what would we call it now? that he's manipulated,
abused,
allegedly, whatever we want to call it. We know it's the truth, really. To be honest.
I know. I'm thinking it's not alleged.
Do you know what? True. I have to say this, but I'm going to let you land too. But I love the fact that the way that you've spoken about it just now, you haven't led with, okay, he's this, he's that.
Yeah.
You've actually come out with what the origin of the problem could be.
Yeah, but do you know what the problem is? Do you know what the problem is? One of the problems with us and our culture and our community is that when we look at something, we don't think about the root of why something has actually happened. So all we're obsessed with when something comes out is that cancelling culture, that cancelling mentality, mute R. Kelly. Listen, the man's got bangers. Yeah?
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. I'm not saying I'm going to continue to play his music, but
I won't be.
Let's be clear, okay? They will still put it on in the clubs, okay? Bump and Grind will still come on at the end of your rave. Not your rave personally, but it's still going to come on again. Muting his music, it's not going to solve the situation. People who've gone on social media and they're obsessed with saying, you know, mute R. Kelly, he's going to be rich regardless whether you stop streaming his music or not. Man's made his money.
Well, that's a good point.
The solution is to find the root and to try and stop it in other men.
Yeah.
And in R. Kelly, well, he's a bit of a goner, but...
Because even what you say about the streaming, it's been put on the blogs that his streaming has gone up by 16% since the documentary has dropped. So he's actually making more money off of the back of this documentary.
I guess, do you know
Spotify have actually taken off.
Really?
Have they? Big up Spotify. Can we get a round of applause for Spotify?
Like in terms of the playlist, right? But he's still there. If someone searches him, he's still there.
I'm under the impression that they tried to take off his music as a whole.
Wow, he's a bit powerful. I don't know how they're going to do that.
That's good. Either way, though, this is the problem. It's the fact of his power has allowed him to get away with what he's been doing for years.
Here's a question too. Do you believe that this is something that is rare?
That is
rare. The manipulation of females from men in a powerful position.
Talk the things,
I'm loading.
Patricia.
I'm really loading.
Let
right
it
now.
go. Let it
go. It is not rare. I don't know about underage women. Yeah, that's something that sits funny with me because I haven't seen personally that many cases with underage women, and maybe there has been, but I just haven't. But I have seen a lot of what I can describe as, you know, this kind of culture of a lot of young females around stars, around artists, around people that are obviously, you know, famous, celebrities, and that kind of need to be validated by these famous people. So an example is, obviously I work in a lot of events, in music and entertainment, and the nightlife industry, is filled with a lot of artists that when we organize their riders, when we organize, their rooms for them to chill in before they go on stage, they come with not even their tour manager. Sometimes they don't even want their manager. Sometimes they're coming with a whole heap of girls, and I'm not saying that they could be supporting that act, and that's fine, but there are also a small percentage of people that just, it's kind of, I don't know why it's so, what do you want to be there for? Yeah. Like, you can't, it's not even a good view there,
It's a clout.
It's a clout thing. I don't know what it is, but there's a lot of young females that, seek validation almost from these acts, from these artists, and it actually contributes to these artists just getting really confused in the head. Like, they get really confused because, stardom can go to your head. It really can. Mm-hmm. And obviously we saw that if you've watched Surviving R. Kelly, you've seen that, someone mentioned when he started to become really confident because he started to realize that people loved him,
Yeah.
So that type of attention is not healthy for anyone, because you're a human. It's bound to affect you negatively at one stage, and you're bound to get a little bit too cocky,
Yeah.
Even in the UK right now, there seems to be a whole new crop of artists that are blowing up, but blowing up in a way that I guess we haven't seen before in terms of worldwide success. and a whole, I guess back in the day you could say there maybe it'd be like 5 or 6 or 7 rappers in the UK that would prosper him. Now you might be looking at about 40 to 50. Now, do you think in the UK there is this same culture that we talk about that is just as much of a problem in terms of girls not really valuing themselves and going into these rooms with these people?
So do you mean in the sense of like a woman, do you mean like an aspiring...
Idolizing people that are prospering in that way,
yeah,
and pretty much allowing themselves to be manipulated the way R.Kelly has manipulated these people, because I guess every single person that has gone with him, or at least a lot of them, apparently were all prodigies,
and they had aspirations.
Exactly.
They were aspiring singers or dancers. Do you know what, I'm not too sure whether it's not as much of a big problem in the black community in the music and entertainment industry, just because black music, UK black music, has not been as long as US black music. As in, there's not as I'm not saying that there's not legends from the UK that you know what I mean, but maybe it's not had as much corruption for me to notice it. So maybe it's going on,
right?
Maybe it's going on in other industries. Maybe it's going on in rock and roll. Maybe it's going on in pop. Do you know what I mean? But I haven't. There's nothing that do you know what I mean? So I don't know whether I can't really answer it fully and say I think that it's there.
Premature.
Yeah, but I definitely think it's loading, and I think it's loading because we still see, as much as we don't see, like, you know, situations like R.Kelly happen in the UK, but we still see that type of culture that I think will start to manifest in the UK in a negative way.
What would you like to see happen to R.Kelly?
I want him to get help. I want him to get the help that he needs. I want him to stop doing what he's doing, and I want him to accept that he has a problem.
That's very nice of you. I think he belongs in jail, personally.
Yeah, but you could get help in jail.
Well, yeah, okay then.
Yeah, you can go. You can obviously face the consequences for your actions, and you can go to jail and you can have your sentence in. That's fine.
I think we should start a movement. Hashtag R.Kelly in jail. I've seen it on Twitter. I've been tweeting it myself. I'm not gonna lie, because essentially he is a paedophile. He is a paedophile.
He is a paedophile.
You know, when you watch the full documentary, you see one of his own backing singers. She's in there, and she introduced him to her niece, who was 14 years old.
Oh my God.
There is a picture. Now, this is spoiler alert for those who haven't watched it, but there is a picture of him and the little 14-year-old girl, and she's in high school playing basketball. And he was having, this is, the little niece is the girl who, you know, the alleged pissing in the mouth tape. It's true. And it was with her. And you to see the auntie just break down and say, you know, I wish I never introduced him to my family. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine having a friend and you just introduce them to your baby cousin or your little brother or sister, and that happens? Like,
God help
there's no
the person
excuse.
that tries to do that to my niece.
Exactly. Do you know what I mean?
God help that person, because I'm catching a case. There's no way. No way.
You know,
there's no way.
It's disgusting. And the thing is as well, you know, you touched on a good point as well, Patricia, when you said it's been happening for a while, because even Meek Mill tweeted saying, you know, he doesn't rate R.Kelly for that, but he said this has been going on in the industry for a while. But
I mean, we know this because we know that what was going on even in Hollywood, you know, that Harry guy, I can't say this his surname,
the
Bill Cosby's. We've seen the fact that all of this was happening when we thought, you know, we were growing up, we were seeing all of this entertainment. We thought, you know, oh my days, like, we're like, oh, they're so cool. No, they were going through so much behind closed doors. And I think that in 20, 30 years, there might be some stories in the UK.
100%.
There might be some stories that mirror that.
I put it down to human behaviour. I believe you give certain people too much power, they don't know how to deal with it. And then that's what happens from that point, at least.
Of course, I agree with that, actually.
But it's a case of, if you have the power, you should know, or at least try to learn to better yourself and control it. You shouldn't let power overcome you.
You can't say that, though, because we're human.
Yeah, I get that.
So I'm not saying that you're capable of doing any, you know, you're not mad. But what I'm saying is, people deal with fame differently. And also, if he was already a troubled person, we need to remember he came into the industry troubled. There's some people that have a very good upbringing. I had an amazing upbringing. My men were amazing. My dad is lit. My uncles were lit.
Say it for the ones in the back.
They're my bodyguards. You know what I mean? When I was young, you know what I mean?
I can see from the gun finger she put up.
You know what I mean? Like, ready. Yeah? My cousins, ready. Yeah? I'm saying that because I'm on the Insta Live as well. I'm seeing it in there, yeah? But in general, like, you know, if I was to enter into this whole world of stardom, my mind is a bit more screwed on. But this man, this R.Kelly, he was mad.
Yeah, the Govy name out on the mic.
You shouldn't even call him R.Kelly anymore, just Robert.
Honestly,
just Robert.
He doesn't even deserve his stage name. We don't want him on our stage.
It's true. I mean, obviously, yeah, he was troubled, and obviously fame can change people. It can essentially F people up.
Yeah,
we know this.
It can. It really can. So when someone's already messed up, what happens then? They're more messed up, isn't it?
But there are people that have grown. There are stars who have been, and not even just male stars, female stars who have been abused, molested, all of that, and they've become famous. And I think, from what I know, R.Kelly's the only one that's really come out as a paedophile. And obviously there was...
Well, he hasn't come out as a paedophile. But
well, I don't care. I'm not allegedly it because I've watched the documentary.
Well, he hasn't come out personally. That's what I'm saying.
He's not come out. Okay, the stories come out that he is a paedophile. Obviously, they had the whole thing with Michael Jackson and everyone tried to say that he was that. But
I think the thing with R.Kelly is it's so many people. I think, and it's over a long period of time.
And you can see he has no remorse from it, isn't it? Like when he pays off everyone.
But then that does come down to him being troubled.
And it does come down to him feeling entitled. I think he feels like, you know, he feels untouchable. And to be honest, I can't lie, we made him untouchable.
Yeah, we did.
I can't lie because...
Pedestals.
Hello, when
this came
the
out
news said that Aaliyah got married at 15... and then signed the certificate. On the certificate, she lied and said 18, isn't it? Yeah. Everybody saw it, isn't it? I watched it. Okay, cool. Everybody left it like that.
Yeah.
People actually left it.
As we were playing
they had interviews with this Aaliyah and this R.Kelly. Aaliyah, rest in peace.
As we were playing Rock the Boat.
But we will never find out, you know, the ins and outs of exactly what their relationship was. But we see the fact that some people are like, oh my God, that's not right, but people let it happen. We were in control of that, so how can we complain now when it's in large amounts?
It's true. No, you're right. You're
Unlearning in the black community, talk to me about that.
Unlearning. I think that as a community, and I don't like to say this in a negative way but it is negative, you know, there's a lot of brokenness in our community, and I think if we're going to find a solution to situations like this, we need to be solution focused. We need to think about the root to these things, and we need to try and identify ways to help these people. Like everyone, I don't know whether everyone saw, but you guys saw the video on New Year's Eve of the man attacking that lady in Clapham,
right?
Where
the guy with the blue, I think I saw that today.
Yeah. You saw that today.
You need to stay woke. Under a rock. I've been saying this all the time. You need
to stay woke.
Real.
But regardless of the situation, or you know, the girl or the boy, I don't know either of them. But regardless of that, like, I just think people were so obsessed with just, he's so evil, he's so this, he's so that, he's so... Why is that a normal thing? Why is somebody like him or another... Because this isn't the first one. It's just been caught on camera. Let's be real.
Yeah.
Men hit women all the time. Like, people's dads hit their mums all the time. And people witnessed it. Do you know what I mean? It's like, you're only focused on saying, he's evil, he's this. No. Focus on, okay, we have a deeper issue. We have an issue that it's become normal for a man to fall to express himself like that. Why do men feel the need to express themselves like that? Why can't they express themselves properly? What's stopping them? What's their block?
What do you think it is?
I don't know. I need to talk to enough men.
Talk to me. I'm here.
I would want to know as well.
You're not violent, are you?
I'm not.
Well, there we go. Need to talk to a violent man.
I mean, I would want to know as well, what's your thoughts on the people that were actually defending him and saying, you know, well, the girl was moving aggressive.
Oh, I heard that apparently she tried to set him up or something like that.
Yeah, so
there's a lot of rumours. Yeah, but what's your thoughts on the people
rumours
that were in
defense? Are sneaky. They're so sneaky, because at that stage, I don't need you to go on social media to talk about anyone. Mm-hmm. I think it's sneaky, okay? Because it's just sneaky. What did you ask me?
For the people that were defending.
Oh, yeah, that's it. Sorry, I was just thinking about how sneaky it was. Sorry, because I find this whole, you know, people just acting like they knew the whole story, and it was just annoying. But the people that were making excuses up for him are the problem. They're the reason why there's currently no solution, because you're obsessed with finding some sort of fault in the victim for the situation. So some people even commented on the R.Kelly videos and were trying to find reasons for why these ladies went through this, to say, oh, you done it because you wanted to get famous, you wanted to do that, you wanted to do this. And it's like, hello, do you know what manipulation means? Do you know what it means to be a very vulnerable young girl who doesn't know the real world, who hasn't been in that type of experience? You don't know. How dare you place that blame on the victim? Like, I think, so the people that were finding excuses or automatically wanted to find out, I need to see two sides of the story. You don't need to see two sides of the story. It's not your business.
Do you think reality is running really far away from reality is running far away from? Do you think media is running far away from reality?
No, I think the media is a reflection of reality, but it's a small reflection of reality.
Well, when I say media, sorry, I didn't explain myself properly.
Yeah.
When I say media, I mean the media that we put out. Every single person with a phone that jumps onto Twitter, creates an account, and then has their opinions. Do you believe that is running away from reality?
No, I don't think it's running away. I think it's bringing awareness towards the reality, because maybe.
But then the same thing that you just spoke about was, I guess, put out there as media. Someone that going on there and then doing what they do. Is that toxic? Do you feel like
it's toxic? Whether it's toxic,
yeah.
I think that it worked. The lady that put it out, you know, she done it because she wanted to find him, and she found him. So it worked. It was done more work than the police, mate. They charged him.
I think that's the positive of
that's the positive,
social media.
That's the positivity.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's the positive side of social media. I think that it becomes toxic when we don't use it in the right way. I think it becomes toxic when we decide to make excuses for stupidity, when we decide to jump on bandwagons, or when we decide to create this cancelling culture, and then 2 seconds later you stay quiet. There's still ladies being molested. There's still young people being taken advantage of. But you stay quiet because the trending topics died down now.
I'm going to do a Charlemagne, okay? And be devil's advocate here.
Yeah.
So, obviously, we have our opinions all on the whole situations, but there is a lot of cases where females do make up lies that they've been sexually assaulted or harassed. Now, not all the time, emphasis on some, not all, okay? But that women do make that up to get that clout, to get that following, to get the check.
Yeah.
So how do we decipher, or I guess, do you think that the fact that people do females in this sense, I'm targeting the females, love my sisters though, the fact that they do make up these lies do you think that it does make it hard for when these women speak out about what R. Kelly's done for them, for people to believe that is the truth, because there is histories of women making these stories up?
I understand why you asked that, because I said that. I mentioned that actually when I was on a video. I was on an episode. Come on. I was on we just spud. Yeah, I was on an episode on Candid Conversations, the YouTube platform Candid Conversations, and we were talking about sexual assaults and just things like that. And I brought that point because I said we need to limit that somehow so that the real victims can be believed.
Yeah.
it's a difficult one because, you know, there's always going to be liars.
Yeah.
There's always going to be people that are going to exaggerate stories. We saw that case on Big Brother, Celebrity Big Brother, that lady, that
the Emma Down actress.
That really...
That one bothered me so
Exactly.
much.
That's
you know what I mean?
Example.
And that really, it was disappointing because, you know, you want to say, oh yeah, all women together, all unity, like, you know what I mean?
But I can't support that.
All of that, but you make us look so stupid when you turn around and you lie, because then, do you know what?
No one's not going to believe you.
Like, do you know what I mean? They're not going to believe you at the end of the day. I think that in the same breath, though, it's a very small percentage.
Yeah.
It is a very small percentage in terms of like, and I think, do you know what? Human intuition, sometimes you can kind of tell. I think anyway. I think you can tell when someone's lying. That's what I think. And this the Emmerdale lady, she's a fool. She was lying on there.
100%.
I think
she
that.
was lying.
Do you think that
obvious.
Itself is unwell?
She's not unwell. She's just a fool.
Because I just think to lie like that.
Because the lady that was interviewing her asked her straight up, about like her backstory and things like that. There was no.
It's funny because
there was no,
it was Emma Willis that actually interviewed her, and the way you could see that Emma was even, Emma Willis, she was even like, but can you? And you can see she had to rein back all this emotion because she obviously was disgusted by it as well.
Honestly,
and
I can't stand things like that.
And when you bring it back to the industry as well, like let's take Kasha's situation. Do you remember the singer Kasha? She didn't release any music because she was allegedly assaulted by her. Was it the guy that actually signed her, the label manager? And no one believed her at first. And she was in that contract. She had to still be signed to a label of someone who was molesting her. And even that in itself,
ridiculous.
It just shows like there is actually 100% corruption, and you must see it as well. Obviously, being in the industry, about all the kind of underlining corrupt things.
Oh my god, it's so painful to hear these stories because it's actually the truth. Even myself, definitely working in music and entertainment, you work a lot backstage. I work with a lot of men as well, just because of the type of industry. There's a lot of concerts and that they want UK rappers. You know what I mean? Work with a lot of them, and a lot of the people that are putting on the events are men as well. So hey, whatever, not a problem. But myself, I've definitely experienced on a number of occasions where there are men who think I'm not there for work, even though they know I'm working, but they think that that's because I'm a girl, because they might think I'm attractive, it's an excuse to, you know what I mean?
They see you as a pretty face.
100%. There was a man that was literally my dad's age.
Oh God, not
literally,
the uncles.
Literally. He was one of the managers of a very high profile act, right? Very high profile act, yeah. Literally came behind me, come and hug me.
And touched you.
For what? To do what? And admittedly, I wasn't going to turn around and at that stage be really, let me bang his face, because I had a show to put on. So I had to be like, hi, you're right, you want to just move. And I think because I'm very desensitized to that type of action, let's say, because I see worse like in that type of environment, I was able to just carry on, but maybe part of the solution, maybe I might just have to make a big hoo-ha out of it, you know what I mean?
But then you shouldn't have to. This is the problem. We shouldn't have to even have to think, every time it happens we need to make a fuss and fight about it.
Well, here's something that I wanted to ask too. Last few questions, but I got to ask this too. Off air we were talking about the correlation between racism and the predatory man. Now, anyone that's racist in this day and age, maybe not, who knows, behind closed doors, but out in the open, it tends to be quite a name and shame situation, and everyone will look at that person like the alien, like you're the racist guy, or really, it goes both ways, but yet that happens a lot. Do you feel like predatory men in all industries, but in an industry that you're in, do you think they should be shamed just as much? Because I don't feel like, although we might say it happens, it doesn't really happen.
I don't think that name and shame is always necessary. I think that they should just be pulled up on what they're doing there and then. It doesn't need to be brought to the forefront that this person done this and all the time. I think that in a situation like R.Kelly, where it's someone that is clearly so powerful, he's clearly gotten away with so much, you know what I mean? You have to try every single thing to get this man off, like, to stop him. But
do you believe that society is the reason why these people believe that they have the power to do these things? Because I feel like that is sometimes the confidence that they're getting is coming from that. If they were told just directly, that's one energy. But then if they're going out of the room and then society is telling them that they're this man, or when you're
but you know, I'm not really, as much as I really hate, like, I despise pedophiles, yeah. Like, with my whole entire body, I despise them. But looking from a human being perspective, yeah, people would argue with me, but I'm not a fan of public hate to anyone.
I love that. I'm
not a fan of it, just because you're just hating them. I don't get.
There's no solution.
You're just, what's the, like, for me, I can't understand how that's gonna make a situation better.
But however, go on.
However, there needs to be some form of tough action. I just don't know whether it needs to be. Yeah, there needs to be consequence. There needs to be systems in place, even within the music and entertainment industry. That can happen off books. That can happen without the public eye getting involved. He could have been sanctioned without us even knowing. Do you know what I mean? He could have been stripped well early. Soon as they pulled up the Aaliyah thing, he could have been stripped of his little King of R&B crown, mate. Like, do you know what I mean? Really. That could have been sorted out.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. The only thing I would kind of challenge is the fact that sometimes the public hate, I think, is beneficial because it raises awareness. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I heard the rumors. Like, obviously I was born in 97, innit? So this whole Aaliyah thing, obviously I was a kid, so this was all new to me, and I've always loved R.Kelly in terms of his music. So
just drop that.
Yeah, I had to drop that. But obviously leading up to it and hearing, everyone said to me, you know, like, nah, this has come out ages ago. We all knew he was a pervert, all of this and that. And I heard the stories, but I never believed all of them. Like, I didn't believe them because I thought, no, like, this is, like, surely if this was him, he'd be in jail and all of this stuff. So now, like, things like this public hate that he's getting and that, it's raised a lot of awareness for me to really know that, like, I will never play his songs again. Like, I just feel that strongly about it because... And
I like that.
I love his music. I really like.
And it's sad because, you know, happy people was my jam. You know, like the Black family cookouts, or even just any family cookouts. You know, they play the Candy.
Yeah, of course.
They play the Down by the River, Morgan Heritage, and then the Bump and Grind, and then the Happy People, and everyone goes, yeah.
And I Believe I Can Fly is why I fell in love with
of course, Space Jam.
Also, Patricia, what are you up to in the next? In 2019,
I'm just gonna say,
yeah, we are 2019. What are you up to? What are you doing?
This year we'll see me talk more. I think that I like getting involved in discussions. I like getting involved in topics, but I like getting involved in discussions that can have some sort of, I don't know, solution, that or where we can kind of try and widen the conversation or try and widen the way we think. Just because I think I've definitely kept it to myself a lot, like previously in the last few years. I've really kept all my opinions to myself, and I've slowly realised that, do you know what, I'm a bit smart sometimes. I say some things and they make sense. So do you know what, I'm just going to continue doing that this year. So that's my focus. I'm definitely going to continue to work on projects, events and marketing, as an entrepreneur. So I go into businesses and enhance them.
Say that word one more time. We love that.
Entrepreneur.
Love that.
You can see a few people with their bios changing, like, literally right now.
Nah, listen, it's lit,
Entrepreneur. Trademark it, Patricia. Get those coins. Get that check.
Honestly, no, because an entrepreneur, obviously, they launch it, and an entrepreneur makes it better. Anyway, still going to be doing that, but definitely going to try and focus on widening the conversation for life topics.
Let's give a clap for Patricia over here.
Thanks, guys.
And 100%. The socials, so that people can know
my social media. Yes, so my social media, everything is Patricia Odje. That's PATRICIA, and my surname is ODJE.
Amazing.
I definitely think we need to bring Patricia back because I'm not finished. This is just part 1, okay? Patricia is coming back for part 2.
Definitely.
They bonded. LDN RBS.